Well, the Lakers might actually get a fully healthy team this season. And no, I'm not joking about that. They're pretty close, and they've obviously gotten LeBron back, got a fully healthy Luka Doncic at this point, got Rui Hachimura back recently, and pretty much the entirety of their team and main rotation, except for one missing piece or one potential missing piece, that being Maxi Kleber. Now you might have forgotten about him or might not even know he's a part of their team, but he was a part of that Luka Doncic trade and does happen to be a Laker. However, he's yet to play for their team, has not made his Laker debut, and therefore fans have kind of forgotten about him, and have rightfully so not put a whole lot of stock into him playing for their team this season. But according to a new report and kind of a precursor to an update from Jovan Buha of The Athletic, he did confirm that JJ Redick will talk about Maxi Kleber tomorrow, providing an update on him, likely about his current health, his short-term to intermediate outlook with their team, if he might make it back during the regular season, or potentially during the postseason, and what that might look like or might entail for their team with Maxi Kleber. So we'll talk about that, talk about what the return of Maxi Kleber could mean for their team and rotation, and talk more about him as we have really not talked much about Maxi Kleber with their team, talk about how he could benefit their team, their rotation, especially their center rotation, and what it could mean for their team come playoff time. But before we get too far into it, if you have been enjoying the content and the everyday Lakers content, then I genuinely would appreciate it if you dropped a like, hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out when I upload a video. But now let's get back to our topic, and with Maxi Kleber, obviously we have not seen him play yet, barely has played this season, does currently have a broken foot and trying to recover from it, but thankfully he is back on the court and slowly but surely is trying to work his way back to their team and hopefully their rotation too. And like I said, we do have some on-court footage here, a very limited amount, but he is back on the court, taking some shots here, putting some weight on that broken foot, jumping off the broken foot, only doing some limited shooting here, but is a good sign nonetheless. Probably is not very far from 3-on-3, maybe 2-on-2 practice at this point. Who knows if he's done that or not. Hopefully we'll get confirmation about that tomorrow, but he does appear to be trending in the right direction. If I had to guess, and I actually do have an educated guess with this stuff, no, obviously not an expert and I'm not in charge of his training plan, but I do have a background in exercise science, so I'm not completely talking out of my butt here. But if he has not in fact done any 3-on-3, not any contact work to begin with, first of all he's got to get cleared for that, which might take another week or two, and if that would be the case, gotta add that into it. Then if he does get cleared, gotta do contact work for about a week, then after that point, gotta ramp up and get back in game shape. So at the bare minimum, we're talking about 3 to 4 weeks, or at the latter part of that, up to about 4 to 5 weeks before he can get back on the NBA court. So obviously not completely ruling him out here, but we're probably not talking about a Maxi Kleber return until the very end of the first round or the early part of the second round of the NBA playoffs. Again, that's only if he's not been cleared for contact work, has not done any 3-on-3, which we have not heard about, neither from the standpoint that he has done it or has not done it yet. We really have no idea yet. That actually might be something that Redick talks about, and I really hope he does talk about it. If Kleber has been cleared for contact, or when he will get cleared for contact, when he thinks that might happen, and then if he has been cleared, if he's done 3-on-3 work yet, 5-on-5 work, or any kind of practice like that, that would give us a major hint about Kleber's return timeline and how long it will actually take for him to get back on the NBA court. But let's be optimistic here and say that he has done contact work or likely will begin it by the end of this week. Then he realistically could return within about a 3-week time frame. Might be a little optimistic, but theoretically could happen. And if that would be the case, he could make it back by the first round and maybe even help their team in the first round too. Now we currently have no idea who their first round matchup will be. For a while there it looked to be Memphis, but they've kind of fallen apart, losing 8 out of their past 10 games and might even fall into the play-in tournament at this point. Might be a team like Golden State. If the regular season ended today, that actually would be their matchup. Or who knows, the Lakers might climb into the 3rd seed, avoid that 4 or 5 spot, and then play the 6th seed, which might end up being Memphis again or possibly Minnesota. So I guess you never know and you really can't predict that. So we can't accurately say if Maxi Kleber would be a good fit for that matchup or would not be a good fit. But I actually think no matter who they play, and obviously if Kleber is fully healthy or pretty close to it, I think he would play for their team and would be a part of their center rotation. Now, he might not be the best player in the world or the best at any one thing on the court, but for a team like the Lakers with very little center depth, pretty much only having Jackson Hayes for a 2-5 on the court, obviously have a pretty good small ball lineup, running an option like Rui Hachimura at the 5, LeBron at the 5, Dorian Finney-Smith at the 5, and kind of a combination between them. That's worked out pretty well for them, but I still think they could use one more center option, kind of a more true center option or something pretty close to it. If it's not Jackson Hayes, then maybe a guy like Maxi Kleber. Does happen to be about 6'10", weighing about 240 pounds, and has played quite a bit of center in his NBA career. Up until this point has spent about 34% of his time at center, even more of it during the past half decade, about 35% this season, 73% last season, about 40% the season prior to that one, and actually even more of it come playoff time. For example, during their NBA Finals run last season, Kleber spent 60% of his time at center for their team, playing about 219 total minutes and a large majority of them coming at center. Or then during their 2021-22 playoff run, Kleber spent 98% of his time at center for them, and that's in a total of 18 games and over 450 minutes played. So yeah, definitely has played a lot at center, both during the regular season and the postseason, and then most importantly, playing with Luka Doncic on the court with him. I mean, those two have shared the court quite a bit, dating all the way back to the 2018-2019 NBA season, and definitely have built some good rapport and chemistry together on the court in that time frame. Whether you're talking about offensively or defensively, they've been a pretty good fit and definitely have built a good rapport together. Offensively, Kleber doing everything from being a decent lob threat, more so a pick and pop partner rather than a pick and roll partner, being a 35.4% career 3-point shooter, even better from the corner, definitely a good catch and shoot guy, and a player that does work fairly well with Luka Doncic. Or then defensively, might not be the best overall rim protector, does offer some rim protection, but more so his strength is switchability on defense. What it comes down to with him and ultimately why he's been on the court in late minutes does happen to be from his switchability on the court, offering a little bit of rim protection but more so ability to switch on defense, guarding the perimeter, not getting taken advantage of, and not being targeted directly on defense as a 6'10" power forward center is very valuable for any lineup and especially late game lineups too. Now again, he's obviously got to be healthy to do that, and coming off a broken foot, we'll have to wait and see with that, and not to mention now being 33, they'll have to take a wait and see approach with him. But in the best case scenario here, yes, Maxi Kleber could help them, whether you're talking about offensively, knocking down 3-point shots, being a good pick and pop partner, simply spacing the floor and offering some 5-out offense, he could help them in that regard. Or defensively, giving them a bigger option at the 5, maybe not the rim protector that Hayes is, but definitely more switchable, offering some of that, a little bit of rim protection, and some added height and length in their rotation in general. So yes, I think he could and likely would help their team if he's fully healthy, but we gotta temper our expectations here with him too. Not only is he working his way back from a broken foot, and that does take time, but even when he's back on the court, is playing for a new team altogether, and apart from Luka Doncic and I guess Dorian Finney-Smith, has not played with any of them. So he'll have to figure out that part, figure out their new system, and simply get comfortable on the court again. So take it with a grain of salt. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? Do you think Maxi Kleber will make it back? And if he does make it back, will he help their team, or are we simply wishful thinking here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.